The SUV behind me flashed red and blue lights, the cheap magnetic kind that wobble when they turn. I was heading home in my unmarked cruiser, still in uniform pants, but with my jacket tossed in the passenger seat. The truck behind me honked twice, and a woman's voice blared through a loudspeaker. "Pull over immediately! This is HOA enforcement!" HOA enforcement? On the interstate? I eased to the shoulder just to see where this madness was going. The woman stormed up to my window, clipboard in hand, sunglasses too big for her face. "You're in violation of community traffic compliance," she snapped. "Residents aren't allowed to exceed 35. I glanced at the sign behind her. It read, Highway 67, speed limit 65. I tried not to laugh. "Ma'am," I said slowly, "you realize this is a state highway, right?" She huffed. "Don't argue. We've had multiple complaints about your vehicle speeding through the subdivision." Subdivision? I looked around. Nothing but open road, pine trees, and sky. That's when her partner walked up, a guy in a bright green vest, toy badge hanging crooked from his chest. "License and registration," he barked. My patience thinned. "Sure," I said, reaching toward the glove box. I pulled out my wallet, flipped it open, and let my highway patrol badge catch the sunlight. The man's face drained of color. The woman blinked. Wait, you're—" I smiled. "Yes, ma'am, the real police." For a second, nobody spoke. Then she tried to recover, waving her clipboard like a shield. That's impossible! HOA enforcement has authority here." I leaned out the window, voice calm but sharp. "On private property, maybe, but this isn't your little HOA road. This is my highway." Behind me, traffic was slowing, drivers filming on their phones. The woman's fake lights flickered weakly before dying out completely. And that's when I said the line that went viral later that night. "You tried to pull over the highway patrol on the highway." Her mouth fell open, and I could see the exact second she realized her little power game had just ended. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every time a car slowed near my driveway, my hand went to my holster out of instinct. The HOA might have been fake, but the threat felt real. Around 9 p.m., headlights flashed outside. A black SUV parked across the street, no plates, no lights. Two silhouettes sat inside, not moving. I stepped onto the porch, badge on my belt, flashlight in hand. "Evening," I called out. No answer. The SUV just idled. Then a text buzzed on my phone, unknown number. "Drop the charges. You don't want this to go public." I typed back, "Who is this?" but the message failed to send. The SUV drove off, silent and slow. The next morning, I headed to the station. Captain already had coffee waiting. "You were right," he said. "We dug deeper into that dissolved HOA. It was used as a front. Money laundering, shell purchases, fake road maintenance funds. Millions moved through it." "Millions?" I said, stunned. Karen didn't look like someone running an empire. She wasn't. He was the face. Her brother, Curtis Dean, he's the one behind the shell companies. He used the HOA's fake authority to scare homeowners, push them out, then resell their land to developers under dummy names. So when I stopped her, I ruined their cover. Exactly. And that's why they're watching you now. I sat down, exhaling hard. "You think they'll come after me?" He met my eyes. "They already did." He slid a photo across the desk, a still from traffic cam footage. That same unmarked SUV was parked outside my home 2 nights in a row. I clenched my jaw. "They want me to back off." "Are you?" the captain asked. I smiled faintly. "Not a chance." That afternoon, I filed formal charges, not just against Karen, but against the entire fake HOA entity and its financial partners. News outlets picked it up instantly. "Fake HOA cops busted by real officer" was plastered across every headline. By evening, the sheriff's office got a warrant for Curtis Dean's arrest. They raided his storage units and found HOA uniforms, fake badges, even old police lights just like the ones Karen used. As the cuffs clicked around Curtis's wrists, the man sneered at the camera. "You think you've won, officer? You have no idea how deep this goes." I stared him down. Maybe not, but I'm the one digging. That night, the station phones rang nonstop. Homeowners from all over the state called to report similar scams. Karen's arrest had cracked the dam wide open. But I had one more move left before I'd call it finished. I woke up before sunrise the next morning, coffee in hand, watching the fog roll over my land, the same land that Karen had once tried to claim wasn't mine. The quiet felt heavier than usual, like the calm after a storm that still had lightning hiding behind the clouds. By noon, the courtroom was packed. Reporters, neighbors, even former HOA members filled the benches. Karen sat at the defense table in a cheap gray suit, her hands trembling as she flipped through papers she didn't understand. Curtis sat beside her, jaw tight, whispering angrily to his lawyer. The judge walked in, an older man with sharp eyes and no patience for nonsense. "So, let me get this straight. You created a fake HOA, impersonated officers, issued false citations, and physically detained a state trooper on his own property." Curtis tried to speak, but the judge raised a hand. "Save it. The evidence speaks louder than you ever could." Karen turned toward me suddenly. "You ruined us," she hissed. "We were keeping order, keeping this place clean." I leaned forward slightly. "You were terrorizing your neighbors, Karen." The room stayed silent for a long beat. Then the judge slammed his gavel. "This court finds both defendants guilty of fraud, impersonating law enforcement, and criminal harassment. Sentencing is immediate." Karen gasped as deputies cuffed her wrists. Curtis just stared at the floor, the fight finally leaving his eyes. Outside, the cameras swarmed. A reporter shoved a mic toward me. "Officer Hale, how does it feel seeing justice served after all this?" I paused, looking back at the courthouse steps where Karen was being led away. "Feels like peace," I said quietly. "People forget. You don't need power to make change. You just need to stand your ground." That clip went viral again, this time not because of chaos, but because of closure. Homeowners across the country started sharing it with the same message: stand your ground. Truth wins. That evening, as I walked back up my driveway, the setting sun hit the badge on my belt, catching the last bit of gold light. I looked at my porch, the one Karen had once tried to claim wasn't mine, and smiled. 10 years away, but this land never stopped being home.